Okay, we're on Eruvin, Perek Dalid Mishnah Yud. We're going to continue our discussion of establishing an eruv tchumin. Mishnah says, Mishi yatsa lelech ba'ir shema arvin ba v'chziro chavera. A person went out to go to the city, lelech ba'ir shema arvin ba, so that they could go to the city that they're going to make an eruv. V'chziro chavera. And his friend says to him, nah, don't go, it's too cold, it's too rainy, or whatever. Let's look at the Bartuner so we know what's going on. Mishi yatsa me'ira, a guy left his city, sheshalachu anshe iro, v'holich lahem eruv. The people of his city sent him in order to set up an eruv, kadei sheyuchlu leilech machar le'ir shema arvin ba, so that they could go into the next city. They wanted them to set an eruv. So what happened was, Aminyan Binyamin, this is our classic example, right? And now we want to get to Gedera, so they say to me, okay, hey, Reuven, do me a favor. They appoint me, I'm the Gabe, put an eruv on the other side of the 7, right over there, so that we're going to establish our eruv. This is in our natural eruv, our 2,000 amot. We're going to reestablish our eruv, okay? And we're going to put it over here, so that, this is Gedera. We're going to say Gedera is big enough, right? This is the city limits of Gedera, because this is the city limits of Gedera. So that, therefore, we're going to have our 2,000 amot. Well, that's going to be our center. And what do you know? We'll be able to get to the city limits of Gedera. That's the plan. But what happened? As I was going, I got to move this to the front. Okay. As I was going, I'm about to go out, and I start to go, and somebody says to me, "It's raining. We're not going to go anyway. Don't go." Okay. That's what the Mishnah says. And my friend says to me, "The Amar le eit chamahi, eit sina, too cold now. Go later or whatever." So I started to go. I'm in Yad Mini. I start and I walk along. There's a nice path from Beit Chilki, and I'm walking along the 7 to go into the 7. I start to go. I intend to go, but I never went. So the Mishnah says, "Hu mutar leilech v'chol b'nei ha'ir asurin divrei Rabbi Yehuda." Says Rabbi Yehuda on Shabbat. So I didn't place the eruv, but I started to go in order to place the eruv. So Rabbi Yehuda says, I myself, tomorrow I find out that some great Rab is coming to get. He actually came. Somebody comes from a Gedera who made an eruv. So the Mishnah says, I can walk to Gedera. I have an eruv. Meaning, why? Let's look at the Bartanura. Hu mutar leilech lemachar leoto ha'ir achart. I can go to that city. Why? Shekevan shehichzik baderech kedei liknot shvita. Hichzik baderech means I made a chazaka on the way. What happens means I started to go on the road in order to liknot shvita. L'sof apayim amar rechok mina ir. Meaning, let's go back to our map. I walked, and I knew where I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to establish my eruv over here. I knew exactly, I had in mind a certain place where I always establish my eruv. Since I did that, have ke'ani she'omer shvitati b'makom ploni. It's like an ani who says, I'm establishing my shvita. Remember we said that if you have an intention, if you designate your shvita, you don't have to actually go there. You can mentally, or you have to actually articulate it. Therefore, v'kana l'shem shvita. So Rabbi Yehuda says, since I had in mind, I had that's sufficient, and therefore I can go. But in the end, I never actually took the bread and placed it here. In order for the people of the city to be able to make their eruv, I'd have to actually put the eruv. I didn't do that. So therefore, I can go, but they cannot. On the other end, Rabbi Meir says, Kol shu yachol ha'arev v'lo erev. Since I could have established an eruv and I did not, harei zeh chamar gamal. This is a chamar gamal. We've seen this term, chamar gamal, in the previous Mishnah. We saw it in Mishnah Gimel, where you're caught between, I think in Perek Gimel, where you're, I think Perek Gimel, where Perek Bet, I don't remember. You'll look it up, you'll tell me. Okay, we saw in the previous Mishnah, you're caught between a chamar, between a donkey and a gamal, meaning caught between a rock and a hard place. You're pulled in both directions. We don't know. Rabbi Meir says, let's look at the Bartuner and then I'll explain on the map. Rabbi Meir, misafkale, Rabbi had a suffix, anihu, Iziani, ho'il v'yatzami beito b'echzik baderech. Since I actually started going, I went on the way, and therefore I'm like an ani, and therefore I can mentally establish my shvita, o dilma, or maybe kevan shaya yachol arev bapat. I have the bread, I could have gone, velo erev, but I didn't do it. Lav anihu, he's not an ani. Hilka, so it's a safek, meaning Rabbi Meir says, 1 second, maybe I established my eruv here, and maybe I didn't. So I've got. Let's say I establish my eruv here, okay? Then, if my eruv is here, I can get to Gedera. But if I didn't establish my eruv, I'll just make it even then my eruv is over here. And therefore, I'm what's called a chamar gamal. Remember, and what's a chamar gamal? Therefore, Shema Shvitato b'makom shahaya holech. Maybe my shvita was over there. Ulesof alpayim meiro nami lo kana alpayim letzadi ir. But I can't say I went to the other alpayim. Shema lo kana shvita ela bebeito. Maybe I made my shvita here, and maybe my shvita is still in Yad Binyamin. I'm mistafek. Therefore, that's called chamar gamal. And remember, chamar gamal only has the area in between, the area that overlaps between the two squares. I can't go over here because I can't get to Gedera because maybe my shvita is in Yad Binyamin. And I can't go to the other side, let's say if I theoretically wanted to, because maybe my shvita is over here. And therefore I'm a chamar gamal and I'm stuck. So that's machloket. Rabbi Yehuda says, I had my dot and that's enough, so therefore I'm like an any, I can go to Gedera and everybody else can't. And Rabbi Meir says it's a tzafek, so even for me, I'm the chamar gamal, caught between the camel and the donkey, a rock and a hard place. We'll dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. And if you have any questions, you can email me as always. Have a great day.